Hey everyone, welcome to the course. So let's start off this video with what exactly is Kamailio. So Kamailio is an open source SIP server that is based off of the SER or SIP Express Router project. And SER has been around for a very long time. There's many different communication platforms that are built on top of it. It's stable, it's fast. Now with Kamailio, you can build real-time communication systems that are capable of handling an immense amount of traffic. Personally, I've used it to build a session border controller or SIP firewall or edge proxy, if you will, that was on a communications platform that handled well over 1 million calls per day, which is quite a lot, I would say, for modern telecom standards. Kamailio is written in C++, which does contribute to it being lightning fast. Now, one important note, you do not need to be a C++ developer to use Kamailio. And the reason for that is Kamailio has a bespoke scripting language that is actually pretty easy to learn if you have experience with anything like Bash, PowerShell, Python, Perl, Lua, any of the other interpreted scripting type of languages. Now, Kamailio doesn't require you to write all of your logic directly in that bespoke language. And they do that with a module called Kemi. So Kemi allows you to develop in a couple of different languages, including Python, Lua, JavaScript, and Ruby. From a personal standpoint, I've seen Python plus Kemi and Kamailio used to quickly devise a solution that would have traditionally required a new C++ module to be created. For example, connecting toward Dynamo database or using gRPC endpoints rather than just standard HTTP. When you're communicating with, say, internal servers. And you can also use Kamailio to build SIP servers that are capable of communicating over TCP, UDP. You can encrypt with TLS. You can even use WebSockets with Kamailio. That means you can use a library like JSIP or SIP.js to help build WebRTC solutions. Kamailio can at least handle the signaling aspect on that part of it. From a security standpoint, you can also perform topology hiding with Kamailio, which is masking the internal IPs of your network. And these are really commonly found within SIP messages. If you have a security department at your work, they love it when they see you strip off any internal IPs or host names or anything that might identify the core part of the network. So Kamailio, in general, is a very powerful tool that you can use to build many different communication platform aspects. All right, so we've learned all of the things that Kamailio can do, but what doesn't it do, or what does it not do very well? That's also very important when you plan on building something. So first thing to keep in mind, Kamailio does not process media or RTP packets. It can be used to help control the signaling layer where you can add, remove, reorder codecs from SIP invites. You can help set up SRTP, but it won't actually process media packets. For that, you need to use something like RTP Engine, which works very well with Kamailio. If you look at the GitHub page, you can see it's meant to be used with Kamailio. Very smooth integration there, so you don't have to worry too much on that part of it. Another thing is Kamailio is not a back-to-back user agent. Therefore, it doesn't create multiple call legs, each with their own unique dialogue. Examples of a back-to-back user agent, at least the open source ones, would be like Asterisk and FreeSwitch. There's many session border controllers that also act as a back-to-back user agent, like Oracle SBC, previously known as Acme Packet, audio codes. There's plenty of them out there. The other thing is, if you're accustomed to commercial SBCs like the Oracle ones, it's easy to jump into a very specific section of the configuration. You make a few changes, for example, like adding a new SIP interface for one specific customer. You save your changes, you activate them, and that limits the scope of the changes. With Kamailio, it's not quite like that. With Kamailio, what you're going to do is you're going to change a configuration file, and then you need to restart the Kamailio process for them to kick in and take effect. There are some things that you can change without a full restart, but just keep that in mind. Now, that does introduce some risk, but you can also mitigate that through a GitOps development flow and proper testing. So there are some extra benefits that do come with this type of approach. Sometimes it does take a little bit more time, but overall it works very well. So now the question is, why learn SIP with Kamailio versus learning on like a commercial SBC or calling platform? So a very opinionated answer here is, I think the biggest problem with commercial platforms is that they lack a learning license. Now, typically, if you want a limited license, you need to already be working for a company that has a contract in place with the vendor. These contracts are very expensive. Often they cost like 18 to 20% of your initial license cost, which can be very expensive in a commercial environment. And that's very cost prohibitive for those who want to just learn and experiment at home. You're not normally going to have an Acme Packet or Oracle SBC or maybe even an audio codes one sitting around at home. Even the virtual licensed ones can be pretty expensive. Now, apart from being open source, Kamailio provides you with the opportunity to really learn about SIP. Because you are building out the actual logic, you need to really understand how SIP is working. Now, by doing this, it's also going to greatly enhance your troubleshooting skills. Kamailio is also really easy to run in Docker or another containerized solution. So what you'll see in this course, we'll be running things like Kamailio, RTP engine. We'll run like a back-to-back user agent. We'll do some different types of testing, and all of this will be containerized. And so it works great to have a containerized development environment for all of your testing, because then you can also turn those containers around, ship them off into production by only changing a couple of variables that you can inject as like environmental variables rather than changing the whole configuration. Last but not least, Kamailio enables flexibility that allows you to meet business requirements. So again, very opinionated answer, but this is where I have seen Kamailio really stand out, is just how flexible it is. You might have some crazy business requirement, and if you're looking at how you could do it on commercial SBC, sometimes it doesn't happen. You need to open a feature request with the vendor, and then you need to wait 6 months to a year and hope that they actually implement it. But with Kamailio, there's so many ways to solve a problem. You can always figure something out. And again, if you're using something like the Kemi module and you're using your own programming language, really the sky is the limit on what you can do to meet business requirements. So yeah, in summary, why learn? Learning license costs are prohibitive on a commercial platform. Kamailio is free. Kamailio requires you to really understand the SIP protocol, which is also great for troubleshooting. You can run it in containers, which is also great for development, and it's so flexible. So let's see you in the next video.